It for this segment of the show. West Indies' highly anticipated home test series against Australia bowls off at the iconic Kensington Oval in Barbados on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. And both teams have revealed their playing 11s on the eve of the contest. 33-year-old all-rounder Roston Chase is set to take charge of his first game as Windies Test captain, with John Campbell returning to the side to partner Craig Brathwaite at the top of the order. Casey Carty will occupy the number 3 position, with traditional opener Brandon King set to slot in at number 4 on his debut in the format. Shai, in the meantime, has been confirmed to take the gloves on his Test return. Australia, on the other hand, will welcome 19-year-old Sam Constos back for his second stint at the top of the innings, partnering Usman Khawaja. Josh Inglis replaces injured vice-captain Steve Smith at number 4 as Cameron Green continues his stay at number 3 in place of Marnus Labuschagne, who has been left out of the side. While Australia's captain, Pat Cummins, is relishing in the possibility of conquering what he terms the uncertain nature of Caribbean wickets.
I had a lot of Test cricket here, even Gaz's first series was 13 years ago. The biggest things over here are normally the pitches, which again, no one's got. You might have played 1 or 2 tests. So, but training this week's been really good. Get a bit of a prep. We're training on the side wicket, so it might be similar to the game. You look at some of the data and info over the years, and share a little bit of knowledge. But it's good. It's coming over here with a few unknowns. It's kind of, it's fun. You got to think on your feet. I think conditions, we kind of don't really know what to expect, obviously, but I feel like kind of the 3 quicks are better suited for this wicket.
Meanwhile, Windies captain Roston Chase spoke to the role of fellow Barbadian Shai in the side, while addressing some of the concerns raised about the 31-year-old's glove work.
Hope is a class player. He has a lot of experience in the international arena. He's also the captain in the white ball format. So I'm just looking for him to lead by example as a senior player and someone that I can lean on in pressure situations, and to help me lead the troops in being a competitive Test team. I guess him keeping for us is a plus. He hasn't kept in Test cricket before, so I think he have to learn a bit and learn fast. But Shai, he's a quality player, so I'm looking forward to him doing it for us.
All right, our international cricket commentator Fazir Mohammed joins us as we break down the teams. Welcome to the show, Faz. How are you?
Not too bad at all.
Yeah, so Faz, a lot of unknowns going into this competition, and on both ends, of course. But I want to start with, West Indies team playing at home now. Roston Chase at the helm. What are you expecting at the end of this Test match?
What am I expecting? That the West Indies will struggle against an Australian team that is doubly determined after surrendering the World Test Championship missed last week to South Africa. And indeed, the only reason this is a 3-test series is because of what happened at the Gabba some 17 months ago with that fantastic performance from Shamar Joseph. So I think the Australians, if they need any motivation, and they never really do, wearing the baggy green, because there's always a tremendous amount of pride and history attached to that, I think they'll be coming extremely hard at the West Indies to more or less send a message that what happened in Brisbane in January of 2024 was a fluke, a spectacular one. But I think that's going to be the challenge for the West Indies, to be competitive against a very experienced Australian team that has question marks at the top of the order, but certainly their bowling attack is very, very strong, and it's going to be a real challenge for the West Indies top order to cope with that quality bowling.
Are you concerned in any way, Faz, about the, the players that are making their debut? I'm talking about Kevlon Anderson, I'm talking about Brandon King in this format. And then we have to keep in the back of our mind, Roston Chase, who didn't play in this format, John Campbell as well, for quite some time, of course. Are those factors that you would take into concern?
I think there are a lot of concerns. When you look right through the batting lineup, let's go. Craig Brathwaite, 99 Test match, averages 33. He is far and away the best performer on average which speaks for itself. John Campbell, for reasons that we know only too well, being banned from the game, averages 26. Casey Carty averages 18, but he's got a tremendous amount of potential. We know that. Shai Hope, the surprise for me is that he's wicketkeeper batsman in place of Kevin Imlach with an average of 25. Yes, we all recall those twin hundreds in Headingley, but that was a long time ago now. Then you've got, as we mentioned, the captain Roston Chase averaging 26. Justin Graves, again, a modest average of 21. So overall, you're talking about a team, and then you've got the debutant Brandon King, who usually opens in the white ball format, expected to bat in the middle order in a test match. So yes, Mariah, I mean, you could dress it up how much you want. The numbers suggest that the West Indies are going to struggle if the Australians bowl as we know that they can consistently. And that is the challenge in Test match cricket. You could have a good passage of play in a 50-over match, even more so in a T20 match, and you could change the course of that match decisively. In Test match cricket, one session or one good day doesn't really mean a lot, as we see what unfolded in the Test match at Headingley, where everyone was getting on about England putting India into bat first, and look at what happened on the last day, where England cruised to victory. So, I think that there's a lot to be concerned about with the West Indies Test match team.
Yeah, and you spoke about how superior Australia's bowling attack will be. A quick comment, Faz, on our bowling attack, because, you know, Shamar Joseph, no secret what he would have done against an Australian side. But, you know, that pressure coming into this match, because, of course, people are expecting him, if not to do similar, to have really good performances. And then, of course, you know, that topic about no Kemar Roach. So Alzari has to step up as one of the senior players in this side. Then there's Jomel Warrick on. What's your take on our bowling attack now?
Well, it's sort of like the situation we spoke about ahead of the World Test Championship final, where the feeling was that if the South African bowling attack can dominate the Australian top order, then they've got a fighting chance. And that happened. And they were able to prevail. Credit to the South African batters, especially Aiden Markram and the captain Temba Bavuma, to chase down 282, which I never expected to happen. And I'm on record as saying that at the time, I felt Australia were going to cruise to victory. I was proven wrong. Let's see if I'll be proven wrong again this time, because I think unless the West Indies fast bowlers can really hit their straps and have the Australian top order batting struggling, Usman Khawaja, Sam Constas, Cameron Green, Travis Head, and all the others in their batting lineup, put them under pressure early. Josh Inglis, who's coming back into the team as well in the absence of Steve Smith. That is really the fulcrum of the West Indies effort. If those bowlers from Jaden Seals, Alzari Joseph, Shamar Joseph, Jomel Warrick, with some support from Justin Graves especially, if they can get it together and stitch consistent spells together, then the West Indies have a fighting chance. If they don't, it could be all one-way traffic.
Yeah, Faz, I want to ask you a little bit about your thoughts on Darren Sammy's application of his plans here for this opening test match, and, well, even the squad that has been named, because a lot has been made of the fact that the most successful batsmen in the past year in test cricket for the West Indies, Kavem Hodge and Alec Athanaze, have been omitted from this current squad. And it is clear that Darren Sammy has a plan that he wants to work with. Are you seeing things the way he is?
No, I'm not. I would like to see it unfold. But again, as I said, it's all well and good to have a plan. Let's see what transpires, not just in the first test match, second in Grenada, and the third pink ball test match day-night at Sabina Park could be a particular challenge, although, again, we need to recall that in the pink ball test at the Gabba, the West Indies won by just 6 runs, but they won and were competitive all the way through. But I don't see a cohesive plan. What I see is some desire to jettison players who maybe you feel don't gel or don't psych with whatever the coach or the captain's vision might be. I mean, just the idea of Shai Hope as a wicketkeeper batter in Test match cricket when he hasn't played Test cricket of any kind for almost 4 years. And yes, he's been the white ball captain. Yes, he's been the keeper in the white ball formats. But anyone who thinks that keeping in a test match can be equated to keeping in a T20 and a one-day. I haven't come close to playing the game at that level, so I stand accused of speaking of something I've never experienced, but I don't think it's the same thing. And therefore, it's going to put the additional pressure on Hope at a time when he hasn't convinced anyone that I'm aware of that he's really back up to speed at test match level, simply because he hasn't played first class cricket to the extent that he has proved his worth in the longer format. So to answer your question, Lance, I don't see a plan, whatever that plan is, but I'll be happy to be proven wrong.
Yeah, but could there be some merit, though, to Darren Sammy's approach that, well, people would say he's thinking out of the box because the West Indies haven't been successful and he wants to do things differently. So he may be departing from what looks logical, as I said, two of the test team's most prolific, if you want to use those words, in talking about West Indies batsmen in the past year, not making his current team, which on the surface of it looks like it's unfair to them, but could it be that he's trying something different because what we have been doing in the past just hasn't been working?
I have no problem with that, Lance. But again, you have to see something that suggests a clear path or a clear direction. And again, this test match might unfold and we might say, okay, he's right, because the team is gelling, they're competitive, they're playing beyond their mediocre numbers, they're going beyond, they're inspired, whether it's with the captain Chase or Darren Sammy, but we'll have to see it. And if we want to go for an English example, it seems to be following that path, because Jamie Smith, who's the England wicketkeeper batsman in test match cricket, started against the West Indies at Lord's last year. He doesn't keep for Surrey in first class cricket, but he's established as their test match wicketkeeper batsman and is doing a better than competent job. So if that is the inspiration, let's see if it works that way. But it's very much, I wouldn't necessarily say a shot in the dark, because Sammy has to know what he's doing. If he doesn't, he wouldn't be there. But it can only be verified or contradicted based on the performances that we see starting tomorrow and continuing for 3 test matches.
Yeah, well, as we wait and we'll see how the first one starts off, we'll discuss, and then we'll, of course, continue looking on to see what happens with this new test side that has a lot of unknowns. We want to thank you for stopping by, and we hope we can talk to you again really soon.
Sure, no problem at all.
Yeah, Fazir Mohammed there, of course, our cricket analyst from Sweden.